Hi and welcome to our fishing report, coming towards the end of July and won't be long before August is upon us. And that's sort of like a false spring in so many ways. And I love having these longer days, but don't forget that we are still having magnificent fishing for our winter time. And I enjoy getting out there. Where else in the world can you go and fish the canals for fish that are 10, 20, maybe even 30 pounds? We're just so fortunate. It takes so little to go there, the cost is so inexpensive. If you had to go over to some of those exotic locations in Alaska or Argentina or somewhere else in the world, gee, I tell you what, your bank balance would be looking a bit on the thin side. So we are very fortunate here. It's on our back doorstep. Never ever lose sight of the fact that we have amazing fishing here. In all the years that I've been teaching fishing, and back in the day I did a lot of work on teaching fly fishing to various people, and it's interesting the number of people from overseas who want to get involved in this, and the simple reason is that they realise what we've got. You know, Kiwis are often like, oh well, it's always been there and it wasn't as good as last year and my mate didn't do so well, and all these excuses for not getting out there. Hey, life's too short, get out there, enjoy it. There's all sorts of adventure to be had. And I love going out to places like Lake Coleridge, which are absolutely beautiful in the winter time. So you get up into those river mouths or you get into your favourite location, have a bit of a wander around, high quality fishing in a high quality setting. The settings we have here in New Zealand are magnificent. So if you don't get out there, it won't happen. I just appeal to your sense of adventure. Get out and make it happen where you possibly can. And of course, not only is it freshwater fishing that we've got going well, we've also got our sea fishing going extremely well. This is a good time to get out and do some boat fishing. So if you've got yourself a boat, or even better still, a mate with a boat, make sure you get yourself out to some of those locations. The group are coming a bit closer to do some spawning over the next couple of months, and of course you've got your good old standard fare of blue cod and other species which are great to eat. And of course, whitebait. Look, it's only the 15th of August. We've got start time. Get those nets all prepared, get yourself organised. Great way to spend a whole pile of days. Something very, very contemplative and therapeutic, being down there at the mouth and enjoying watching that white gold come past. You have to wait a wee bit longer if you're on the west coast, of course. Beginning of September, she'll all be on. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about something which we've just launched, and it comes out of that sense of wanting to give something back to the fishery. You know, I've been very fortunate. I've been in this industry for 37 years. I started learning to fish when I was 4 years old, when I first saw some cockabullies in a rock pool, and my mother gave me the best of the gear that she knew, which was a bent pin and a piece of cotton. It didn't stop me getting fascinated with fish. And over all that time, I've got to say that I've been very well mentored by having a brother and a father who were very much into fishing. And so I had all that fantastic momentum of learning how to fish and getting out there and doing it. So we want to give something back to all those people who are coming up. It was a lot easier to learn then than it is to learn now. So we're going to be doing a bit more with our fishing podcast, and it's called Fishing Matters, because after all, fishing does matter to us. And what we're wanting to do with this is give you some sort of relevant tips and techniques and interviews with people who really are the movers and the shakers when it comes to what's going on in our fishing industry. One of our problems is that we're often misinformed, or we have part of the story on things, but I'd like to get some experts in, and we'll have a bit of a talk about how fishing is really set up in this country. Now, we were very fortunate last week to have Rasmus Gabrielson from Hawthorne Institute. Now, this man is very, very well skilled on salmon. He's just done a PhD, and it's on basically salmon returns down the east coast of the South Island. So when it comes to knowing what's out there, he is pretty good on it. Now, I love talking to him because you get an informed position and a different perspective from someone who really has looked at all the science, all the scientific papers. Most of us have ideas about what's going on, but the reality is there's a whole pile of science that does help us make those decisions. So I really want to thank you, Rasmus, for doing what you did. And I know that we are looking at an ongoing education program with those podcasts where you can use it as a reference tool and go back and understand these things, so that the folklore of the riverbank isn't always the one that becomes your truth, and that you rather have a little bit of science behind it so we can make more informed decisions. And our plan is to get a few more fishing identities onto this podcast, so you might hear a little bit about others who are involved in the tackle trade, those people with high profiles. We'll find a little bit about what they've been up to, and we also want to make sure that we talk to people like Fish and Game and some of our other managers to see where they're going, and if we can communicate a little bit more effectively, I hope that we can make much better decisions and we feel better about it. Remember, it's your fishery, it's not their fishery. It's not like the Fish and Game has got clients and you're it. and you pay your license, and that's what you get is what you get. We are stakeholders in this. We have this amazing situation in New Zealand where we collectively can vote on and vote off people who are going to be looking after our fishery, and we can influence the decisions that are made. And often we talk like it isn't that way. It truly is. But you know, if we don't know what we can do, if we don't know what's really going on, it's hard for us to make the right decisions. So we want to get behind our fishing game. We want to get behind those people who are going to be making good decisions and steering where we're going in the best possible direction. So if you can get on board with Fishing Matters, spread the news out there. We've got it on quite a number of different platforms, and we want to continue to do this on an ongoing basis. Well, thanks very much for listening to me, and I trust that there was something in there that will at least get you encouraged. Get out and go fishing where you can. Other than that, come in and talk about fishing. Come into 484 Cranford Street, our store. We'd love to talk to you. Get contacting us online or on the phone. We'd love to help you. We want to give you more tools so you can catch more fish.